Dear children, welcome to physics class, and the today's topic that we are going to discuss in this video is buoyancy and buoyant force. Okay, so dear children, what is buoyancy? Buoyancy is simply it is a phenomena due to which an object experiences an upthrust when it is immersed in a fluid. Now fluids are those substances which can flow. So fluid means either gas or any liquid. Okay, so what is there? See, suppose if we have a container, okay, and or let it be a bucket, and I fill this bucket with water, and this example you might have experienced yourself. Suppose you have a mug, and whenever you keep this mug inside water, its weight you feel to be lesser. But as this mug comes out of the surface of water, it suddenly becomes more heavier. So why it happens? Because see, whenever your mug is inside this water or inside any fluid, so weight acts in the downward direction due to the gravitational pull of earth. Okay, but this liquid gives an upward force. Okay, this liquid gives an upward force, so we generally call it as upthrust. Okay, so this upthrust, it balances some part of weight of the object. So children, due to this upthrust, we experience that the weight of this mug is lesser inside water as compared to when it comes out of it. Okay, and this upthrust is called as, this upthrust is also known as buoyant force. Buoyant force. Okay, so what is buoyant force? Simply, buoyant force is a force that is given by any liquid in the upward direction when that object is either fully or partially immersed in that fluid. Okay, so buoyant force, always remember that this buoyant force will always act in the upward direction. Some part of weight is balanced by this buoyant force. That is why the weight of object inside a fluid, it appears to be lesser. Okay, and see children, this buoyant force depends on the density of the liquid or density of the fluid. Okay, so this buoyant force is directly proportional to the density. It means more is the density of the fluid, more will be the buoyant force experienced by that object. Okay, and lesser is the density, lesser will be the buoyant force. This is the reason why when a ship moves from freshwater river to sea, okay, so its level rises. Okay, so why the level of that ship rises? This is because suppose this is your ship, base of the ship, and it is inside water. So when it was in fresh water, it was experiencing some kind of buoyant force. But as it goes in, or as it enters in salty water, now salty water has higher density, so the buoyant force given by salty water will be more, so its level will rise up. Okay, because this buoyant force will balance more amount of its weight. Okay, so that is why whenever a ship enters from freshwater river to salty sea, so its level rises, and when it comes to a freshwater river from sea, in that case its level falls a little bit. So buoyant force experienced by any object also depends on the density of the fluid. Again I am recapitulating that if more is the density, more will the buoyant force, lesser is the density, lesser will be the buoyant force experienced by that object. Now children, we will discuss this question: why objects float or sink when placed on the surface of water? You might have observed some objects like wood, thermocol, or dry leaves, okay, or a piece of cork, all these float on the surface of water. Okay, so suppose here we have a sample of water, and if I put a piece of cork or thermocol, it will start floating on the surface of water. Rather, if I put a nail, so nail will immediately, it will sink in water. Okay, so question is, why this cork is floating while this snail sinks? Okay, so it depends on the density of the object and the fluid in which we are putting it. Okay, so here we are particularly talking about water, so I am taking the fluid to be water. Okay, now see children, the density of water is 1000 kg per meter cube. Okay, and if I want to write it in gram per cubic centimeter, then density of water in gram per cubic centimeter, it is 1 gram per cubic centimeter. Okay, so if the density of object is less than the density of water, okay, if the object that we are putting inside it, if its density is less than the density of water, then the object floats. So what it means, that the density of this cork is less than the density of water, that is why it is floating. Okay, so if the density of object is less than the density of water, then it floats. If the density of object is greater than the density of water, in that case your object will sink. Like here, the nail is made of iron, so iron has higher density as compared to water, so that is why this nail sinks. Okay, and if density of object and density of water, they are same or they are equal, it means that your object will keep submerged. It means that somewhere here or here or here it will keep on submerged, means neither it will go to the surface nor it will sink completely. Okay, so here density plays an important role in floating and sinking. If density of object is lesser than the density of water, it will float. If density of object is more than the density of water, it will sink. And if the density of object and density of water, they are same, then object will keep submerged in that particular sample. Okay, so that is why some of the object float or some of object sink. In the same manner here, we can take particular values also, like if density of water is less than 1000 kg per meter cube. Okay, so it means that it will float. Means if the density of object is less than 1000 kg per cubic meter, then it will float. If density of object is greater than 1000 kg per meter cube, then it will sink. I am only putting the value of this density of water. And if density of object is 1000 kg per meter cube, it means that it will keep submerged. So it will be submerged, suspended somewhere inside the liquid. Okay, so this is the reason why some of the objects float and some sink down, okay, in water. Dear children, the next topic that we are going to discuss is Archimedes' principle. So what is the statement of this principle? It states that when a body is immersed fully or partially in a fluid, it experiences an upthrust or upward force that is equal to the weight of fluid displaced by it. Okay, so first we will understand what this principle states. Okay, so dear children, suppose here I have a container in which I have filled some water. Okay, so let us suppose I have filled the water up to its brim, completely filled. Okay, now suppose if I hang a body, or if I put some stone or any other object and I hang it with the help of thread. Okay, so what will happen? Now this stone or this body will occupy some volume in this water. Okay, so the extra volume that it takes, that amount of volume of water will spill out of this container. Okay, so if I collect that water in some container, okay, so suppose this is the water that is spilled after putting this object in this particular sample of water, So see children, what happens? Now weight, it will act in the downward direction. As we are putting it inside a fluid, so it will experiences an upthrust. Okay, that will be in the upward direction. So how much is this upthrust or how much is this buoyant force? Okay, so this upthrust or this force will be equal to the weight of this water that is displaced by this object. So this is the meaning of this principle, that whenever you put any object or immerse any object fully, completely or partially, means you are putting only some part of it, it will displace some water or it will displace some fluid. ये बेटा थोड़ा सा फ्लूइड को हटा देगी, so that displaced fluid, the weight of that displaced fluid will be equal to the upthrust or will be equal to the buoyant force experienced by this object. So this is Archimedes principle. But the application of Archimedes principle is, this principle is used in making of hydrometers, lactometers, and ships, submarines, etc. Okay, so all these are based on this principle. The working of all these is based on the Archimedes principle. So these are the applications of Archimedes principle. Okay, and the last topic of this chapter is relative density. So whenever we are using word relative, it means that we are comparing something. Okay, and here we are talking about relative density. It means that we are somewhere comparing density. Okay, so relative density is nothing. Okay, relative density is simply, it is the ratio of density of object to density of water. Okay, so relative density is density of object upon density of water. So if relative density is given, we can find out the density of water, density of object, because density of water is known to us, it is 1000 kg per meter cube. So if relative density is given, we can find out the density of object, and if density of object is given, we can find out the relative density. Like here we have one example. I want to discuss that example with you. The example is that it is given that the relative density of silver is 10.8. Okay, so it is solved example of your NCERT, and the example is that relative density of silver is 10.8. okay, and it is asked that what is its density. Okay, so question is, what is the density of silver? This we have to find out. Okay, so dear children, we know that we have written the formula. Relative density will be equal to density of object, means density of silver upon density of water. So relative density is given 10.8 equals to density of silver we have to find out upon density of water we know, because we are supposed to learn this value. So density of water is 1000 kg per meter cube. Okay, so therefore if I take this 1000 to this side, so here it is dividing, so whenever it will go to this side it will multiply. So density of silver will be equals to 10.8 into 1000 kg per meter cube. Okay, so I can also write it as 10.8 into 10 raised to power 3 kg per meter cube, or it can also be written as 10800 kg per meter cube. And even from here we can find out whether this, if I put a piece of silver in water, whether it will float or sink. Now see, this density is much larger as compared to density of water, so this will sink. If we put it inside water, it will sink. Okay, so simply if we know the relative density, then even then we can find out whether the object will float or sink. Like if relative density is less than 1, okay, if relative density is less than 1, then object floats. If relative density is greater than 1, then object sinks. And if relative density equals to 1, then object is submerged, means it will keep suspended inside the liquid. So dear children, this was all that is given in your NCERT book in this chapter. So I hope whatever we have discussed now, those things are clear to you. So I wish you good luck and bye.